Welcome to Chapter 5, Lesson 4 Strategies for Working with Direct Owner Sales, sometimes referred to in the US, I think, as for Sale by Owner or FSBO. This lesson is going to cover the differences when you contact the owners direct and how you might still be able to work with an agent if you feel more comfortable with it. So, I think the first thing to say is it is important to still establish that you're a serious buyer. We went over that when contacting agents, but I think it's just as important if you're contacting the owner direct. This isn't their job. They're doing this on top of their day job or whatever else they've got going on, and they won't want to waste their time. There's no need to give you a budget though. Like normally with an agent, you'd give your budget, but it probably goes without saying, but I'm saying it, don't let them know what your top range is. If you're not comfortable with the French language, I think it's worth saying this up front in your first message. I wouldn't ask if they speak English. I think that could come across the wrong way. But I would say that you're sorry your French isn't very good, but you're using a translator app to send them the message. I think it comes across much better. And if they speak English, they'll probably switch to write back to you in English at that point. Obviously, if your French is good, then good for you. You should have no problem with this. So this is the one exception I'd say on location. They might have given the exact location in the listing, but it's worth confirming in your first message. You can say, "Oh, this is where it's listed in the listing. Can you confirm that's the case, or can you let me have more details about where the specific location is?" One thing you'll probably notice about the direct listings is that there can be less photos. So, for instance, on a site like Le Bon Coin, which we looked at earlier in the course, for the listing to be free to the person making the listing, they're only allowed to use 3 photos. So you'll see lots of properties listed that just have 3 photos. Or sometimes you'll see that they've done like a montage for each of the photos to get more in for free, but then the photos are so small you can't really see anything. So probably you're definitely going to ask them at this point for more photos because you won't have seen very much. And if there's specific things you want to see, ask them. Don't make them guess what they're going to send to you. And you're probably going to have questions like you would for when you're contacting an agent about a property. If you're contacting the owner direct, I wouldn't overwhelm them with the first message. I'd probably ask no more than 3 to 5 questions initially. If you are thinking, I can't do this, I don't speak any French, or I speak just a tiny bit of French, it seems a bit too difficult, don't let that become a barrier to finding your dream home in France. One way that you could still work with an agent, there's the concept, something called a mandat de recherche in France. Some agents might even talk to you about it. And when they talk to you about it, it's because they know of some properties that could be interesting to you, but they don't have a contract in place yet. So without a contract in place, they can't get paid their fee if you buy the property. But if you sign this contract with them, then you're agreeing to pay the fee. It doesn't cost any extra to you than if you waited till after they had a contract signed. But it means that the contract is with you rather than with the person selling the property. Doesn't tie you into that agent. You can still work with other agents on other properties. It just means a bit like the bon de visite in the sense that it's for that property. If you buy it, they've introduced you to it, you pay their fee. But there's no reason why, if you've met an agent that you like and you've exchanged some messages with an owner direct, but you were feeling a bit uncomfortable about doing the viewing without an agent or going any further with it without an agent being involved, you could ask the owner and say, do you mind if I bring an agent that I've signed a mandat de recherche with to the viewing? I don't think you'd find any agent that would turn you down. I think if you contacted an agent and said, can I sign a mandat de recherche with you? I found this property that's listed directly, but I'd like to work with you on it. They'll be absolutely over the moon. You'll be their favourite client of the year. The other option, you could hire a translator. People do that all the time. There are people throughout France who will provide translation services to you in person, or potentially on the phone if it was a really difficult to get to location or short notice or something. They'll charge you an hourly fee, obviously cheaper than paying an agent a percentage of the list price. But at the same time, they won't have the same experience of buying a property in France, or properties in general in France, probably. This is the final option I'm going to mention. You can speak to us. This isn't a service that we list anywhere on the website, but for anyone who has paid for the course, we would definitely be willing to discuss with you how we could work together to attend a first or second visit with you for a fixed fee, so cheaper than like a percentage that an agent would charge you, but you could still get some insight more than just the translator. So to recap, we've looked at some differences in approach to contacting an agent, and I've given you some options to consider if you are afraid of the French language, and you're worried that that's going to stop you from taking this route.